So just how are you gauging, we mentioned it there very briefly, but how are you gauging entrepreneurial spirit and activity in these countries, firstly?
Well, fundamentally, we developed 9 key measures, which we think are the key things behind promoting entrepreneurialism. And we've used a very rich data set to rank each country against those measures. And we calculate from the individual measures an overall score.
So UK and Germany are way down the list compared to the likes of Ireland and India. What sets them apart?
The winning countries tend to be developing countries. Okay, they have a very, very positive attitude to risk. They desire to be entrepreneurs. The problem with the more developed countries is people want to be entrepreneurs just so they can earn more money or have less time with so they can work for themselves rather than the boss. In places like India, you're driven by necessity. There's far better feasibility in terms of the ability to set up companies. There's more desirability, as I say. There's more experience.
I was just going to say Ireland then, because you can't call Ireland a developing economy. Why is Ireland so high up on the list in your view?
The really interesting thing about Ireland is the image of entrepreneurs is very, very strong, number one. Number two, there's a lot of experience in terms of setting up companies in Ireland. And also I think the tax rate helps. The tax rate undoubtedly helps. But the government's also done some very useful things. It's encouraged companies that do exports. It's also encouraged specific industries like farming, fishing, tourism. So I think there are 2 things. You need a government which actually reduces the costs to industry, to start-up companies, reduces regulation, and you need access to finance. If you had those 2 things, they're huge helps for entrepreneurs.
And back to India, do you think the new Modi administration is going to help push and incentivise entrepreneurs in that direction? Because Modi has made it very clear that he wants to cut red tape and make it easier for business.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic development. I mean, the best thing that happened in India was in 2000 they created a collateral-free credit guarantee fund, and that's had a huge impact on businesses. They also encouraged banks to give special consultation work to small companies in things like finance and taxation. They have national awards. They actually laud entrepreneurs.
I want to ask you a very quick question because we're running out of time. What about the conversion rate? Because fine, if we're more risk averse, then we're less likely to fly at something and try and do something entrepreneurial without actually converting it. So aren't we more successful, in fact, because the number of people who are successful in startups actually higher than those that just go out there and perhaps don't achieve?
So you're talking about the UK?
I'm talking about generally. Compare the UK with India.
The UK's got a very, very poor conversion rate. If you actually look at the number of startups which fail, it's about 95%.
And India?
India is about 50%.